What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Black Manta 1989, aka the Combo Clinic, and today we're going to be talking about live service games, in particular, the failed games and service push by Sony. So, with what happened in the past couple of days, Sony and their investor meeting, what do you want to call it, investors conference, what do you want to call it? Some things came out, and I want to go over why I feel just using from a common sense approach, why the games as a service is not working because Sony themselves, even though they're a billion-dollar company, they're not using common sense. And the common sense can fix a lot of things. In this instance, we're going to talk about common sense. So if you guys like this type of video, hit the like, subscribe button. Let's get to it. So first things first, we're going to go over the canceled games that they've had. Now, during the Jim Ryan era, it started in, I'll say 2022, the push to do 12 live service games in 3 years. So it started in 2022, now 2025. Obviously, we know Jim Ryan's not here. So let's go over this game as a service and show and pretty much highlight the games that were canceled and have the potential to be canceled. So the canceled games / failed games, I got 10. Is to me it's technically 9, but it's really 10. So Destruction All Stars, Last of Us multiplayer, Twisted Metal, Spider-Man multiplayer, God of War multiplayer, Ben Studios multiplayer game, Horizon MMO. I think that would be a mobile game. I'm pretty sure. London Studio multiplayer game, Payback Project. That's another multiplayer game, and of course the grand failure, Concord. Right? Okay, so that's 10 already. Then we have 3 more, the potential mega failures that could really happen. Now, I should have put Concord in mega failure, but that's fine. So the potential ones are Marathon, the Horizon multiplayer game, and Fair Games. Now, sidebar side quest. There's a reason why I didn't show any multiplayer games in the last State of Play we had a couple weeks ago. It's because they know that would not have been a bad look if they would have done that shit. So that's why we didn't get no live service representation in the State of Play. Because right now, when it comes to live service / games as a service, it ain't looking too good. It's looking pretty bleak. However, think of it like this. If Concord was the appetizer as far as failures go for Sony, the big one, the main course, is Marathon. Now, don't get me wrong, Concord was a massive failure. Don't get me wrong, just not get that totally misconstrued. That was a massive failure. But Marathon potentially could be bigger because he spent $3 billion to acquire this studio. So if this fails, this is going to be really bad. And the way they've been talking, yeah, it's launching this year for sure, no doubt. But the way they've been talking, they've been saying that we've learned from our mistakes from Concord. This will be the big failure right here. Because I personally don't think Sony has learned their lesson from Concord. Because they keep trying to push live service, and not really listening to what the real PlayStation fans really want. Like, not the fanboys, not the ponies, the quote-unquote ponies. The real PlayStation fans want. It's only a vocal minority that wants live service games. Majority of PlayStation fans don't want games as a service like live service games. They just don't. Sorry. So, what needs to change for Sony to really pivot from this? Well, it's 2 things that need to happen. One, should have happened a long time ago when the other person got let go, or he left on his own accord. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Or, and the second one, that probably for Sony to really learn their lesson, this needs to happen. So first things first, Marathon has to be a bigger flop than Conquer. Now here's the gonna be the issue with that. Will it be a bigger flop than Conquer? Like I said before, the past couple days with the way Sony's been talking, they've been talking like we're not gonna make the same mistake with Marathon as we did with Conquer. Okay. So to me, it's gonna be like kind of one of those things where, come hell or high water, they're gonna try their damnedest to make sure this shit fucking works. Pretty much, they're like, come hell or high water, we're doing everything we can to make sure this is not gonna be a flop. So I think it would be anywhere from good, not great, in the middle somewhere. It's okay. Will it be like the game changer that Sony really desperately needs? No. So if and when that happens, the second thing they need to do, fire Herman Holtz. Now, I don't like anybody losing their job, obviously. I don't like that. However, look at this list. Like, there's literally 13 potential failures in this. The only one that wasn't a failure is Everhead Studios Helldivers 2. And there's a reason for that, because it was different and something new, something fresh. So in addition, yes, you chopped off the head of the snake with Jim Ryan and this failed games as a service. Yes, you could have had the snake off, but you didn't get rid of the rest of the body. The rest of the body is Herman Holtz. So you gotta get rid of him. That would be the second thing. Because anybody that was associated with the Jim Ryan / Herman Holtz regime, you gotta get rid of. So this will determine these next 3 live service games, Marathon, the Horizon Multiplayer, and Fair Games. This, to me, in my opinion, will determine if Herman Holtz has a job leading into the PS6 generation. So what I can see potentially happening is he'll keep his job until, the rollout of the PS6. And then after that, he'll magically want to, quote, spend more time with his family and leave the company, end quote. Translation for that, we're gonna fire you if you don't leave. Pretty much. That's what they gave Jim Ryan, the same deal. Like, listen, let's not do this in front of the public. Leave on your own accord, or we're gonna fire you. So he left on his own accord. That's what I think will happen. So if that happens, which I think is going to happen either before the PS6 comes out, or the launch of the PS6, maybe like a couple months after that, Herman Holtz leaves. Or before that. It just depends. Like I said before, these next 3, Marathon, Horizon, Multiplayer Game, Fair Games, those next 3, they're going to determine Herman Holtz's job. So what would be the aftermath after all this? The aftermath is obviously Sony has prioritized the PS6 generation coming up. Which, by the way, I think is kind of stupid because it really hasn't in my opinion, done enough to focus on the PS5 generation. In my opinion, yes, we put on some solid games, but I think you need a little bit more than that. And I think they've been lacking, particularly for first party. Like second party, third party deals, cool, no issue with that. But the first party, hasn't been the most. You haven't really hit the ground running. Because around this time, you'll be going crazy with first party content. So, what needs to happen going forward? Let's just get this out of the way first. The PS5 and PS6, they're going to be cross-gen. So anything that comes out on PS6 is going to be cross-gen with the PS5 for at least 3 to 4 years. So if you have a PS5, if you don't want to be like the first adopter of the PS6, just hold off, or just trade in your PS5, you get a PS6, and then that's it. But for me, they're going to really have to sell me on the PS6. If not, I just keep my PS5, or at bare minimum, get an upgrade to the PS5. But going forward, single player games with live service aspects included. remember the days when games used to come with multiplayer games. Remember Uncharted, The Last of Us, first game, they came with multiplayer aspects. Killzone, multiplayer aspects. You know what I'm saying? So why can't you put that inside of your single player narrative driven games? Even Ghost of Tsushima, they added Legends. Why can't you do that? That would be fire if with Ghost of Yotai. I know they're not gonna do it, but that would be crazy good if they added a multiplayer aspect to Ghost of Yotai, just like they did with Ghost of Tsushima and Legends. That would be crazy. So that's the first thing. You don't have to do a whole separate live service game. Just put live service aspects inside of your single player narrative games. That's it. It doesn't have to be like anything crazy. And you have the blueprint for that. Ghost of Tsushima Legends. So that's first thing. Second thing. 4 games as a service offerings. But here, the big thing in parentheses is very important. Do 1, I repeat 1, not 12, but 1 live service game every 2 years. So if you do one to launch to the PS6, then 2 years after that, every 2 years after that. Makes it easy. You're not just bombarding people with live service games that don't work. People don't really want live service games like that, especially PlayStation players. They don't care about that stuff. So just do 4 games as a service, a generation. But the next point, this is the very key point, these games has to be creative and give fresh new takes on something. Yes, we got Fortnite, we got Call of Duty. Okay, that's cool. What else you got? Let's try some new shit out. Let's be different here. Essentially, let's try some new shit. Spice it up. Do something that those other multiplayer games are not doing. Let's not copy Call of Duty, Overwatch, some Marvel Rivals type stuff. Do something different. No more striking shooters. Do something different. I think if Sony does that, then their live service plan could work out a lot better. But for sure, I think after Marathon, Horizon Multiplayer, and Fair Games come out, they are going to die down significantly the live service output for the PS6. For sure. It's not gonna be no 12 live service games in a 3-year time period. No, just do 1 every 2 years. If you want to get crazy, you can maybe sneak another one in there. But 1 every 2 years, that's perfect. That's perfect. Or, like I said before, in your single player narrative-driven games, which you've done before, put some live service aspects / multiplayer in those single player games. And you have the blueprint for it. You have perfect examples. The Last of Us multiplayer game, Uncharted, and Ghost of Tsushima with Legends. So that's really it. Just use common sense. If I can figure this out, how does a multi-billion-dollar company not know this? Or they got investors and everything just screwing stuff up. So, 19.4. Think about this from a common sense approach. Which one makes more sense? Just them completely failing, hoping to get lucky, or do 1 or 2 a generation. Do one game every 2 years. So basically 4 games as a service for the entire generation, but make those unique as hell and have them in a way that nobody has thought about doing it this way. That's it. That's all you gotta do. It ain't that hard. So that's the video for today. Thank you guys and gals for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.